What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Now I want you to pay full attention to this video. I want you to watch this video and understand effectively what might happen for September and October in the crypto markets. Because of course we've seen some extreme highs here for Bitcoin. We topped out at like 124K. We've seen some very nice highs for Ethereum. You know, we topped out at like 4.95, making just about that nice all-time high. So it's great, but we do have a lot of things to talk about because October is coming, but first we have to get through the dreaded September. And why do I call this the dreaded September? Well, I personally think we're going to see, now we've swept the highs for Bitcoin and Ethereum. We've tapped into those highs. There is a chance we might see Ethereum run to 5K still before September. But I still think that we're going to see a September crash. And the reason is when we look at all of the Septembers in the past, we've only had 4 green Septembers, of these 12. So 4 over 12 Septembers are typically bullish. That's not a lot. So the odds of September being red at the moment, it's more of a likely occurrence. And you can see this is the Bitcoin monthly returns. This is the Bitcoin's quarterly returns. When we look at Q3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, 50% of Q3s are green. But we can see that far more on the Q4s are actually green. But when we actually break it down just by month, October is the month to be really expecting some sort of big trajectory here. And November is usually quite a good follow-up too. So my plan for September is to wait to see where Bitcoin and Ethereum settles in the dust. Is to wait to see how low can they come back down. And we're going to check some price levels as to where I think they can come back down to. But I'm expecting Bitcoin to come back down. I'm expecting Ethereum to come back down. But then I am expecting bullish continuation for October, for November, with that final finale alt season and potentially meme season that could come with it. So these are things that I'm looking forward to right now. So where can we expect? What can we expect? The market cap of crypto hit 3.87 trillion just today. But we can see it actually hit 4.2 trillion as a global market capital high. Now, BLX chart, let me look at this on the weekly time frame. Let me just get my indicator over here very, very quickly. We're going to use the logarithmic regression. So yeah, what we can see just looking at this is, Bitcoin is obviously quite overheated. And it got rejected big time at like 123, 124K, depends on what exchange you're looking at, because it all varies. But we can see right now that, yeah, there was a ton of resistance at these top levels, 123, 124K. You can also see we've got this sort of downward diagonal sort of support playing out. So we've got this kind of strange looking triangle with the horizontal resistance and then that downward sloping on the support. So there is still room for upside. That's a good thing. But there is a possibility that we can come back lower. And I'm talking about $100,000. Maybe we could see even $90,000 for September. If we do get the typical crash, which can be 20 to 30%, then that would actually take us down to about $90,000 if we were to assume that could happen. And the reason it could happen is because in December, we had a 30% crash, though the only difference is that particular crash spanned over a long period of time, which was actually 3 months of duration. So I don't know if it'll be that volatile. I think it could be a little bit less. If we've just got a single month of volatility or a single corrective month, we might just see a 10% correction. We can also just quickly check the September drops for Bitcoin. 20%, 7%, 10%. So yeah, 7, 7, and 3%. We could assume at worst maybe a 10% correction for Bitcoin if we were to factor in that it's now more stable than it used to be. There is a chance that we could pull back to about $100,000 for Bitcoin and then make that last sort of leap upwards, which would just be fantastic. If we look at October, you've got 10%, 30%, 40%, 27%, 10%, 47%. You could be looking at an average of 20 to 30%, upside potential just for October alone. So if we crash down to 100,000 and then moved up 30%, it takes you to $130,000. If we get something like this play out for Bitcoin, of course. The actual cycle top, I still think we'll finish around $140,000 to $160,000. Now, how about for, Ethereum? What could happen potentially with Ethereum? We can see Ethereum also getting rejected over here. Just to remove some noise from the charts. Yeah, Ethereum, big rejection. Big rejection at 4.8. And we could also see a big correction for Ethereum. If we look at last September's for Ethereum, especially in a more bullish scenario, we can see over here in this particular market where we had September kick in. You can see it literally happens right here, guys. September, this is the weekly candle of September. Ethereum dropped 33%. 33% in that bull market. I don't know what it did for September 2020, but there was still a drop actually. You can see right here, August kicks in, the end of August of 2020. Ethereum still drops 38%. So we can see Ethereum has a lot of downside volatility every time almost in September. So I'm expecting, hopefully, this can repeat and then we get more upside. So remember, over here, September 2020, we see a 35% correction. Over here, September 2021, 33% correction. Could this mean that we might be seeing a 30% correction for September 2025? It's a possibility. If we did see this occur, we're going to just look at the end of the month. Let's assume around here, 30% takes Ethereum down to about $3,200 before we maybe catapult back up one last time to some crazy highs. So that is the region I'm looking at, 3.4 to 3.1K on Ethereum. If we come back down to these levels, this is probably where I'm going to be aping back in to, Ethereum, the 3.1 to 3.4K region. Do want to say, guys, if you're looking for trade signals, if you're looking for alphas, if you want to join a proper solid community that can deliver some insane gains, for example, here are some really good gains from the traders down below in my Discord. You can check out the Patreon. It's completely limited, so we don't have that much space available. But if you're someone that really wants to grow in this crypto market, please do have a look at my Discord. We've got 41,000 members, and you're going to absolutely love it in the Discord. So join, hang out, have a laugh, share ideas in the crypto space. And also sign up to KSX if you're looking to use a no fee or pretty much lowest fees that exist exchange with no KYC, with global accessibility, all down below for you. We can quickly check out the chart here on the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. So what happens, in September again, something we can try to find. You can see over here, wasn't too volatile actually. I think alts kind of hang around quite stable usually on September's, but we did just get rejected at a very key resistance level at altcoin valuation 1.7 trillion. And it's not really a special number because altcoins were actually worth the same amount in 2021. So we've not really seen an increase in the altcoin space just yet. And that's one thing to also look forward to and factor in, that we could still see upside here because we've not yet tapped into that new price discovery for altcoins. Anyways, guys, if you're new here, subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell, share this with a crypto friend. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.